Hi, welcome to ShowMeTheCurry.com. I'm Anuja.
And I'm Hital, and today we're making tiramisu. Now this is perfect for Valentine's Day.
Actually, not just Valentine's. I can have tiramisu any time of the year. So let's get started.
So tiramisu is basically an Italian dessert, and it's so delicious. It's one of my favorites. It's very easy to make, but there are several steps involved. So one of our first steps is we need a double boiler, and what that simply means is you need a pot of boiling water with another bowl type thing that's going to sit on top, and we're going to be cooking eggs in here. So basically you want the eggs to cook with the hot water, not directly on the flame. So I've got a pot of water boiling already going here. And we'll start with the other process.
Right, and over here, this is just cream cheese, regular cream cheese, which we had actually kept out, and it's down to room temperature at this point. It's an 8-ounce package, and all we're going to do is open it up and put it in this bowl.
Now we're using cream cheese. The original recipe for tiramisu actually uses mascarpone cheese, and you know, that tends to be a little expensive and hard to come by. So this is a great alternative, and it's, you know, cheaper and more accessible, readily available.
And to this, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of regular sugar, and we're going to just blend it till the sugar actually mixes in very well with the cream cheese. So once that's done and it's kept aside, we've got 3 eggs. Here's the third one, and we're going to separate the yolks and the whites. So we're going to put the yolks in here, that's what we're going to use, and the whites I'll just put in a bowl and just keep it aside and use it for something else. So here you go. So to the 3 egg yolks, we are going to add in 3 tablespoons of sugar.
And I'm going to take this mixture and I'm going to mix it really well and dissolve all the sugar into the egg yolks. And once the sugar is dissolved, we're going to put this bowl on our double boiler, and basically that water should be high enough to where it reaches the bottom of your pan, and that's going to cook the eggs. But the key thing for cooking eggs this way is that they have to be constantly moved around and stirred. If you don't, they're going to scramble, and then you'll have scrambled eggs.
You'll have lumps.
Exactly.
You want a very, very smooth mixture.
Right, so here we go. If you notice, the color has changed. Now it's become a nice light yellow from that dark. You know, egg yolks are really dark yellow, but this is a nice lemony yellow, and I think it took just about a minute or so. And we're going to take this off, and immediately we're going to pour this mixture into our cream cheese mixture.
And we're going to quickly mix it really, really well. So over here we have some strong coffee. You can use instant coffee, and we're going to add about 2 tablespoons to this, to the cream cheese.
Now if you have a coffee maker, like a brewing type, then you can just make, you know, brew some strong coffee. Just cool it down when you do that. Otherwise, like I just said, instant coffee powder works great.
And mix.
So this is heavenly whipped cream. You gotta love whipped cream. So what you can do is you can take your liquid whipped cream that you get in a carton, and just like the double boiler method, instead of boiling water, you're gonna put ice underneath and another bowl on top, and just whip it and whip it. If you have an electric beater, all the better, because it takes quite a while and quite a elbow grease to do it. But just whip it and whip and whip it, and you're gonna get nice, you know, strong peaks like this. You can do that. Now if you want to take the instant route, you can also use Cool Whip, which is a non-dairy whipped topping, and it works great, fantastic, but you know, option is yours.
Yep.
So this is about 1.5 cups we're going to add to our mixture.
And mix. And every once in a while she's not looking, I just lick it. It's so good. All right.
So that's ready. So this is basically our filling for our tiramisu, and next we're going to show you how to layer it and finish this delicious dessert off. So what we've done here is we took our coffee, the 1 cup of coffee that we had made earlier strong, and we put it in a little bowl that we can dip in, because we won't be able to dip inside of a cup. So that's coffee here. And here we have some fingers. These are called
lady fingers.
Lady fingers, yeah.
Not bindi. Because bindi is also known as lady fingers.
That's
so
true.
this is what it is, and you can get it from a lot of grocery stores. But sometimes they're a little hard to find, right? So anyway, this is what they look like. This is what the package looks like, and this is what these lady fingers look like. Though I wonder which lady's fingers are that big.
It's a pretty big lady.
Yes. And we have that. And the other option, in case you cannot find this, is just white cake. You can just buy a mix from the grocery stores.
Right. The only difference is going to be the layering technique, which we're going to show you right now.
Okay.
So we have a casserole type dish or any kind of serving dish that you have and you want to serve it in. We have one of those. We're going to take each one of our fingers and dip it in the coffee. Now you don't want to dip it and hold on to it forever, and it will disintegrate because they're very delicate. So just put it in once, hold it there for a few seconds, turn it around, let it soak up, and immediately just pick it up, and you're going to layer this in your pan.
Just a quick shower, not a tub bath.
They soak up really fast. It's amazing. In our last one, there's just a little square hole in there, so I'm going to have to just break one in half and make it fit.
Here's what it looks like. On top of this, we're going to layer the cream cheese. There's going to be 2 layers, so I'm basically going to put 1 layer over here, and I'm going to save half of it for the next layer up. So actually, a lot of times tiramisu is considered, it's got alcohol in it. And we have tried not to do it, so you can share it with your Valentines, whether they're 60 years old or 6 years old.
So if you want to put a little bit of rum in it, that's absolutely okay. The actual tiramisu, traditionally they do put a little bit of rum, and it gives a wonderful flavor. So if you were going to do that, you would just mix about a tablespoon or 2, not a whole lot, just a little for the flavor. You don't want to get drunk off of this. Mix it in with your coffee, and then dunk your fingers in there. So once 1 layer is done, we have some cocoa powder, and we're going to put a light dusting of this on this first layer.
Make sure you get the edges. Yeah. All right.
And we'll save this for a second layer later on. And we're going to continue again, same process. We're going to dip the fingers in the coffee and put the layer on and layer it again with our cream cheese topping. So while we were dipping the fingers in this coffee, we ran short. And that happens sometimes because sometimes those things soak up a lot of coffee and sometimes they don't. So if you need to make more coffee, the instant powder works the best. It's the fastest way to go. So just make a little more. So I mentioned that if you don't find those fingers and you want to use just a regular box cake, the way you do it is you're going to make your cake in a pan, like a baking pan that you'd normally do it. And once it cools down, you cut your cake like lengthwise like this, and that way you have 2 thin layers of cake. And it's a little tricky, but you just take that one of your pieces, layered it into the bottom, so instead of small fingers, you just have an entire layer of cake down there. And then what you do is, instead of how we dip the fingers in the coffee, you just take your coffee and take a pastry brush, dip it in the coffee, and just sponge it onto the cake. So basically that cake will absorb it up just like a sponge, and instead of you dipping it, it'll just sit there and absorb. And then the same thing with the next layer that you have after you put the cream on there, put that next layer of cake on, and again dip it. You might need a little more coffee doing it that method.
Excellent.
It's another option.
And now once that's all leveled and layered out, we're going to do another round of cocoa powder.
And your little tea strainer works amazing for this little application.
Looks good. We're going to cover it and put it in the fridge and let it chill overnight. And we'll see you back tomorrow.
So our tiramisu chilled in the refrigerator for overnight, and it's perfect right now.
Yes, but you don't have to do it for overnight. About 8 hours would be more than sufficient. So if you're in a big rush, if you made it in the morning, you can have it in the evening. But it looks fantastic.
It does.
Let's cut. Let's dig into it. And of course, you can make as big pieces as you like. Perfect.
Okay.
Look at it. It looks fabulous. Look at that. You can see all the layers. You can see the lady fingers. You can see the, this cream.
So to garnish our beautiful piece of tiramisu, we again have our tea strainer and we have some powdered sugar. Just going to take a little and give it a little dusting on top.
Oh, yum.
So pretty. And that's it. So this is our version of tiramisu, but we have a friend in India who's promised us that he's going to share his version with us.
You guessed it. It's Sanjay Thuma from Varevar.com. Go check out his recipe for tiramisu. And join us again on another episode of ShowMeTheCurry.com.
Adding a pinch of spice to your life.
Let's dig in.
All right.
It is so good.
Oh, yum.
Perfect, perfect, perfect.
Yum.
She did take the bigger piece.